for everybody.
They're finally here.
Yes, sir. You gonna do West or East first?
Let's do East first. I think
Okay.
that matchup's not gonna be as nice as the other one, so I say we go
All
with East first.
right. So we got the Boston Celtics taking on the Indiana Pacers. A lot of people had the New York Knicks advancing in this one, myself included, as well as you. So how well do you think the Pacers match up with Boston?
So I think that okay, so I must be honest. I didn't think the Pacers would get this far. I had them out round one.
Yeah.
I really thought they were gonna be eliminated. I did not expect them to get this far. So I've got, in my opinion, I think 6 games, Celtics win. I think that the defense is gonna be a little too much for him. Porzingis will be back. He's gonna play the big factor for
Yeah.
him. That and like they have such a high powered offense. The Pacers do, which not. I mean, Celtics have a good offense as well, but Pacers are so fast paced that if you slow them down slightly, they don't understand really what to do at that point because they're so quick at getting to the basket. If you play good defense against them, it kind of throws off their whole offense, and then they struggle. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that's going to be a big factor because with the the Knicks had Brunson Reed going off, doing everything he could, and took him to 7 games on his back. So I'm just going to say I think that the Celtics just have a more depth of a team too. That's going to play a factor. They're not going to be able to keep the offense going that fast. People are going to get tired from the defense. So yeah, I've got Celtics in 6.
I like your breakdown. I mean, I totally agree with what you said. What really hurt the Knicks, though, real quick, was just their coach, Thibodeau. I mean, he
Thibodeau's
ran his
great.
players into the ground, man. Like, he's done that in Chicago, and it really hurt him with the Knicks. And honestly, if I'm the Knicks, I'm looking at getting another head coach. I know they made it to the semifinals with their players, but you can't continue to allow your guys to get these extreme minutes game after game. They're just going to run themselves into the ground, and it showed with Josh Hart and several other players.
I like Thibodeau actually. I think Thibodeau's fine. I
He's a
understand, but like I just see to me that's drive, not for the like because you got to think sometimes those players are asking for those minutes. They want those minutes. So to
that's true.
me, they're wanting to be in the game. They're wanting to make the difference. So like I'm
Hmm.
fine with it. Like Jokic and Murray played like every minute of the against the
Yeah,
Wolves in Game 7. I loved it. They had to. Don't get me
yeah.
wrong, but it's I don't think it's really on Thibodeau. I just think it's on the rest of the team because like
Mm,
if you want your stars to get a chance to break, you have to make plays while you're on the court.
that's true. Very true. I mean, Thibodeau is a very defensive-minded head coach as well. He's proven himself in the league. But going back to this matchup, so I like what you said. I think Porzingis is out for the first 2 games of this series, though, so that's going to be huge. I think the Pacers get one at Boston. So I like the Celtics in 5. I think they've got enough to advance to the NBA Finals. And like you mentioned, the Pacers are a very offensive-minded team. Not very good on the defensive side of the ball, but they could shock us and play some defense in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics and show up when they need to. But I think the offensive firepower for the Celtics is too much to handle for the Pacers. And with Porzingis coming back, that's going to be huge because he can stretch the floor and give them another type of score that they haven't had until he got hurt. So we'll have to wait and see. I think Miles Turner is a big X factor for this young Pacers team. If he's able to take some mismatches down low and establish his dominance early, I think the Pacers have a chance in this series. But like I mentioned, they might get one game at Boston, but I don't see them getting any more than that. So I've got the Celtics in 5, and Jason Tatum advances to another championship.
Okay, so we're in agreement. I got them in 6. You got them
Yeah.
in 5. We haven't differed, I think, at all in the East this entire postseason. So I'm not surprised on that.
So Western Conference Finals, we've got the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I want to hear what you have to say on this one.
Of course, of course. So I just want to make this. I want to make sure this is known. I had the Mavs against the Clippers. I had the
Hmm.
Mavs against OKC.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Mavs
Woo!
against the Wolves in
Oh
7.
man. Okay, okay.
Um,
I see it.
I think I'm stoked. I was last series. It was such a great series. Nuggets did lose. It sucks, but like
Yeah.
Ant looked incredible
He did.
He had great opportunities to make himself shine. I think but I don't think Ant's the reason they won that series. I don't at
No,
all. I think it was Cat and Gobert being on the floor defending Joker
for sure.
was what really helped them win that series. I think they played a big factor. I'm not even a big fan of either one of them, but I think those were huge. I think they will still be an issue this series.
Mm,
100%. Because I think that they just got great defense. Now you two guys who were willing to do whatever it takes to win games, Kyrie and Luca, and they had also like Derek Derek Lively was awesome this series. He was a rebounding machine. He pulled through for what they needed. That's where I'm. He's got to step up against Cat and Gobert this series, and
yeah,
Jones Jr. does too. They both have to step up big to get it done, but I think they can. They really impressed me last series and helping them
yeah.
get past OKC. OKC also big thing on that is Giddy. Giddy did not show up this playoff series at all. He was not out
He
there at
was,
all.
and that really surprised me because during the regular season he was playing really good minutes, and then towards the postseason he just disappeared.
But I don't know if Ant can guard Kyrie like that. If it's just 1-1, I know if they do a lot of doubles, and that's fine. Like that part, I'm like kind of more worried about when it comes to the Mavs. But if it's Kyrie just versus Ant, I'm not that stressed about it.
Hmm.
Um, he did lock down Murray, which I was really impressed with because I'm a big Murray guy. The defense that they put on Murray and clamped him down was really impressive. But Kyrie's handles are not the same as Murray's. Kyrie
No,
is got the best
no.
handles to ever step on the court. So yeah, I don't know if he could be able to lock him down. Luca is another one. Luca can just hit it from anywhere. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, you went through one European guy, and now you're going to the next one. Arguably the two best players in the NBA right now.
Hmm.
And then don't forget Conley. Conley is very good at
Yeah.
defense. I think
Yeah.
Jokic said it best. He's the most underrated guy in the NBA right now, and I
Mm,
agree. Conley has always been a very good defensive player, and he can make shots, and he's always done that for consistently throughout his
yeah.
career. So Conley is another big factor for him. But I think the role players play a big factor, and that's what helps the Mavs move on.
Mm. I like the prediction. I love the breakdown you gave. I mean, you forgot one key piece for that Mavs team, PJ Washington.
Oh
He was a
yeah,
big
my
X
bad,
factor.
my
No, you're
bad.
good. But he was a big reason why they won against that series against the Thunder, hitting a lot of 3-point shots, rebounds, hustle plays. But Mike Conley for the Minnesota Timberwolves, you hit the nail on the coffin right there. I mean, that was just incredible play by him. Whenever he was out, they lost. Whenever he played, they won. So he's a huge X factor for that young Minnesota Timberwolves team. Veteran leadership. He has high IQ plays. He knows when to facilitate at the right times, get everyone going. Anthony Edwards said it himself. He didn't feel good whenever he had to bring the ball up by himself, having to get guys shots by himself, and allowing Conley to do that for him really opens up that Timberwolves offense. So I think if Conley plays well, and if the Minnesota big men if they show up defensively, they've got a pretty good chance at winning. Um, like you mentioned, though, Lively, Jones Jr., those guys really showed up this postseason. If they continue to play well, I think it might go 7. But um, I predicted the Wolves to beat the Nuggets, and I'm predicting them to beat the Mavericks here. I've got the Timberwolves in 6 games.
Timberwolves is 6. All right. Hey, you slept. You slept on the Mavs last two series.
I
Don't
did.
forget.
I
You might
did.
be sleeping on them for 3.
Whew, we'll have to
Now,
wait and see.
who do you want? So say we'll go into this for a second. You see, don't forget Luca is dropping 27.3 points
Yeah.
per game,
Mm-hmm.
9.1 assists, 1.4
Mm-hmm.
steals, and 9.7 rebounds. So the man's a walking triple double this postseason.
He
Now
is.
he does have the one factor that is kind of bothering me. He's averaging 4.1 turnovers a game.
Mm.
It's kind of high for me. And then
Yeah.
Kyrie's dropping 21, so you're looking. I mean, they're dropping 20 bombs,
Yeah.
5.4 assists, 4 point rebounds, 1.4 steals, but he's also averaging 2.5. So they're
Mm.
averaging about roughly almost 7 turnovers together, and that's another issue. But
Yeah.
still think they get it done. But would you rather? Let me get back to my main point. Sorry, I just wanted to add the stats. I had them wrote down. I wanted to make sure they were known. Uh, I think who would you rather play if Boston makes it to the finals? So we both predict Boston to make it. So you've got
Yeah.
You've got Wolves or Mavs. Who would you rather play against?
I would rather honestly match up with the Mavs if I'm being real. Um, because that big man duo down low kind of scares me. We don't really have another big man besides Porzingis to match up with them defensive wise, excuse me. The Luca and Kyrie matchup though. I mean, we have two of the best perimeter guards in the entire league with Drew Holiday and Derek White. So I feel like we could handle them better than Minnesota's big man. Um, so that kind of scares me. And Minnesota's got an extremely athletic and long team. So they could guard some of our guys, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, probably with ease. So Minnesota, I feel like, is a better defensive team overall than the Mavs. So I probably want to rather play Dallas.
Okay. I was just kind of curious who would you rather play?
Yeah.
So right now you have Timberwolves versus Celtics in the finals.
Yeah, I do.
What you don't want.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't. I do not want to face the Timberwolves in the finals. I feel like they would give us some fits, but I think it'd be a good matchup. It'd probably go seven if I'm keeping it a buck. But I think the two biggest X factors in the Western Conference is for Minnesota, Jaden McDaniels, one of their best 3-and-D players, extremely versatile player. Whenever he plays good, they win most of their games. And for Dallas, I think it's Lively. I mean, he's got to hit the boards big time. Against Oklahoma City, they were a smaller team compared to Minnesota. So, I mean, you got the 7-foot towers in Minnesota, so you have got to hit the boards every single play. Because I believe in game 6 versus the Thunder, they out rebounded them by plus 16. So that's not going to happen again versus the Timberwolves this series.
Excited to see it.
But well, everybody, that is our thoughts and predictions. Let us know down below who do you have winning in the conference finals for the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference.